skincare. That is the video today, most notably Korean skincare and Olive Young. My Black Friday order arrived about a week ago. I haven't opened it yet, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to unbox it together with you and share a little bit of my story moving from Sephora to Olive Young. And of course, we'll do it together with Gobi because he's the whole reason why this channel exists. Look at him. He wants to be a part of the experience. Disclaimer, I am not a dermatologist or an esthetician. Any of the skincare information I share in this video are all based on internet hearsay and personal experience, so please keep that in mind. I also apologize in advance if this video isn't well laid out. Feel free to share some constructive criticism and suggestions for future videos. So before unboxing, let's start with a little story time about my move from being largely dependent on Sephora for makeup and skincare to Olive Young. So I am a former Sephora Rouge for 3 years, but it was not a very budget-friendly status. A lot of the products that I enjoyed in Sephora had really high price points, and it was not a good idea financially to stick with Sephora. And so a few years back, during the time of all of the lockdowns, I was looking for a better alternative with cheaper options, products that were well priced but also worked very well. At the time, I was really interested in getting into Korean beauty, but I didn't know where to start. So I spoke with a friend. He gave me a few suggestions to look at, and my favorite suggestion was Olive Young. At the time, I didn't know it was the K-beauty equivalent to Sephora, but when I was comparing and contrasting the options that were suggested to me, they had great prices, a wide variety of products and brands, and they had a decent reward point system. It's very similar to what Sephora had, just a little different, and the price points for the tiers weren't nearly as high. So I quickly jumped in on a train. When it comes to buying beauty in general, it doesn't matter if it was with Sephora or now with Olive Young. I liked to buy in bulk and I liked to buy online. I'm one of those people who will get stuck in a store looking at everything for hours. So, to save myself some time, I just buy things online. And purchasing online has its perks. They usually have online only gifts with purchases. And in order to get free shipping, I usually buy in bulk. And so this is why this bad boy is so large. And since Olive Young ship all the way from Korea, my goal is to buy a lot of items and not purchase so often. The great thing about Olive Young is that they have great sales. They have a sale every month. I feel like they have some sort of sale or promo every week. And I'm a sucker for sales and a lower price. And as you might see in my current package that I'm about to unbox, I do like to buy in multiple quantities. My goal for a single order is to last me about 3 to 5 months. And without further ado, let's start unboxing. Gobi, I have something sharp. I don't want to cut you. Now, what I really appreciate with Olive Young's packaging is that they really pack it in to ensure none of the items get damaged. This is what it looks like upon opening the box. It's pretty full. Gobi, please stop mooning the good people of YouTube. Okay, good boy. A lot of brown paper stuffing. Oh, this is actually a little bit unusual. Usually it's like well packed in bubble wrap, like really sticky bubble wrap, but I guess I just bought enough that it all fit in here. It's just all there. There's no bubble wrapping. This is a little strange, but let's go through it. So this order, Gobi, please. This is my struggle with Gobi all the time. He just wants all the attention and love, which I understand. Who wouldn't want to give this boy so much love and attention, but sometimes it's a little much. Just a breakdown of what is in this box to get an idea of how much we're going to go through. It has how many items? It has 14 items with one gift with purchase, and I forget how much this cost me. Gobi, my boy, come on. See, my only complaint with Olive Young is that it's they don't make it it's not exactly easy to track your previous order history. With Sephora, you can really track your entire purchase history. With Olive Young, it's not nearly as easy. I don't know if that's different if you lived in Korea and bought from the brick and mortar stores. As far as their international online store, it's not the greatest when it comes to tracking previous orders or even previous transactions. There's no way for me to really see the total sum of this box of this purchase. I would have to go through my bank statements in order to do that. But hey, let's take a look at what we have here. Come here, my attention seeking boy. I know you want to come closer. All right. First up is the gift with purchase, Madagascar Centella Chalusika Water Fit Sun Serum. It's the trial sized mini version. This was a gift with purchase. I don't remember what the standard was. Olive Young often gives gifts with purchases, and that is not the first time that I've received that same one. Okay, a product that I've used for close to a year now, the Madagascar Centella Daily Care Ampoule. These are pretty sizable. These bottles are 55 milliliters. That's equal to 1.85 fluid ounces. One bottle of this, when using it every day in the morning and in the evening, lasts roughly 2 to 3 months for me. So ordering two of these should last me about 6 months. Just looking through this right now, I ordered a lot of toner. I was running out of toner, and now I have enough toner to last me over a year, I feel. Luckily for me, Costco sells them now. So I had bought that toner before this had arrived. So I have to go through that and then all of this as well. But my usual is a Docto 1025. That's the one with the otter swimming in it. And I like it because it's very light and it's a good everyday toner. But I did want to branch out and try other new things. I know now that Docto is a good toner for my skin. I wanted to see if, there are other toners that may be good for when my skin's a little bit drier or acting a little bit more oily, things of that nature. So I did get the other toner that Round Lab had, Birch Juice Moisturizing Toner. I got a set of two, and they're pretty sizable. They're very sizable. One bottle is 300 milliliters, and so this is a total of 600 milliliters of toner. I don't know how long this is going to last me. This is going to last me a very long time. And I have more toner in this box. I've been hearing such great things about Anua as a brand. I haven't used any of their products yet. In the beginning of winter, the air was so dry, my skin was starting to get really irritated and red, and Anua is known for treating redness and irritation, and so I bought their Heartleaf 77 Soothing Toner. This one, it's quite large. Like if you just take a look at it in comparison to the birch juice one. This bottle is 500 milliliters, so just less than the 600 over there. 16.90 fluid ounces. I'm set for maybe a year and a half with toner. Another favorite item of mine that I've been using for a little bit over a year now is Beauty of Joseon's serums. I have two favorites that I use alternately depending on how my skin is feeling. The first one is the Glow Deep Serum, Rice and Alpha-Arbutin. These bottles are 30 milliliters. If I were to stick with one day and night every day, they last me about a month. This is the Glow Serum Propolis Niacinamide one. Like I said, I alternate between these two depending on how my skin is feeling or how the weather is. This box comes with a 30 milliliter and a mini 10 milliliter one. I do lean more towards the Propolis Niacinamide one more than the Glow, and so I decided to get two. This is what I mean about me buying in bulk. Buying enough to last me a very long time, well within the expiration date. Something that I still haven't found my favorite, that I'm still kind of exploring, are cleansers. My favorite one to use from Sephora was Drunk Elephant's travel bars. I don't remember the name. They were nice because they were already in bar form, so they didn't come with added plastics, no added trash, and they lasted me a really long time. They did have the bigger bars that were $24, but I liked getting the little travel duo that were $16, and I would alternate between the exfoliating one and the other one, which was just cleanser. I remember one was brown and exfoliated, and another one was just cleansing and white and smooth. I still haven't found a K-beauty item that beat that product for me, so I'm still exploring. And one of the things that I want to try is Anua's Heartleaf Pore Deep Cleansing Foam. I kind of wish K-beauty had more cleansers in a bar form. For a long while, I was using Japanese face cleansers. They have a lot of cleansers that were in bar form. Unfortunately, a lot of them were drying and caused a lot of irritation and peeling with my skin. I had to stop that, and so this is why I'm looking for an alternate with Korean brands. Still haven't found it, so hopefully this will do something for me. My legs are sleeping, and then Gobi, you can't really be seen. Gobi's starting to hide behind all of the product. Next is a product that Olive Young sells, but it is not a K-beauty item. It's actually a J-beauty item, and it's one of my favorites. I was actually quite thrilled that Olive Young carries this brand. It's very popular, it's very good, and that's Hadalabo. Specifically, the Gold Premium Milk. This is my favorite one from the Hadalabo line. It's very light, it's very moisturizing. It does all the things that I want it to do in a moisturizing lotion. This Hadalabo product in particular can be a little bit hard to find. Lately in the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of Asian beauty shops that are popping up, which is great. I do have options now to buy in person, but this product in particular is very hard to find in person, and I did ask a salesperson why that was. A lot of Asian beauty stores had the red and the white, but not the gold. And if they had the gold, they did not have the premium milk. And for some reason, this product in particular is very expensive to import. And so it's not really worth it for them to be selling it. I was really happy to see that Olive Young sells this and is still selling it. This, I feel, is an underrated gem. If you're interested and you think that it'll help, please, I highly recommend this one. I think that's it for the skincare items. Like, my focus is mostly skincare, but just because of the nature of my work, sometimes I do need to wear makeup. I don't wear makeup often, as you might notice. I like being barefaced. I prefer being barefaced. But there are some days where I just need to look a little bit better in person. My work is very customer facing, and it really matters how I look and how I present myself. I need to step up on my makeup game. And one thing that I really struggle with is keeping my makeup set, especially through a long 10-hour shift. I need something that'll help my makeup set. I'm not a huge fan of American brand makeup, setting makeup, because of the smell and because of how it feels on the skin. I would buy them and probably use them just once or twice. They're really a waste of money for me. I don't really use them. I hope trying Korean setting mists and setting sprays will help me. This one is the 3-in-1 Boosting Mist and Fixer Essential Mool. Mool in Korean is water, so essential water microfeeding mist from JUNGSAEMMOOL. There's 2 bottles in here. One bottle is 55 milliliters, so that's approximately 1.5 fluid ounces. That would last a while. I haven't tried K-beauty body products So I wanted to dive in, and I'm starting with Some by Me, the Lacto Soy Mild Peeling Bubble Cleanser.
My bad, this is actually a facial cleanser, but I do like using it in the shower.
And again, with the whole makeup thing, I got the Laneige Neo Essential Blurring Powder. I'm hoping the blurring powder and the setting spray will help do something for me. I know this is a very viral product. A lot of influencers post about it. And lastly are some root volume clips. Little clippies, hair clippies. As I'm getting older, I'm noticing that my hair is getting flatter. Volume was never a problem when I was younger. This is a brand new world for me, trying to get more hair volume. So this is my Black Friday Olive Young haul, with Gobi hiding in the back over here. So we've already done the little story time and the Olive Young unboxing. Now we're moving over to the skincare steps and my opinions on them. This is where my little disclaimer at the very beginning of the video becomes quite relevant, because just to reiterate, I am not a dermatologist or an esthetician. All the things that I will share is just based on internet hearsay and personal experience. You may be familiar with the 10-step skincare routine that's often associated with K-beauty. It seems that there's a little bit of inconsistency depending on where you go to get the full 10 steps. The one that I'm going to be laying out is from Soko Glam. That's where I first heard of it several years ago, and I feel it's the most accurate. I don't know if there's been any changes. Do I follow the 10 steps? No, not the full 10 steps. I follow it to a degree in comparison to what I was doing before I started using K Beauty products. I have never or very rarely followed the full 10 steps. Before going through the 10 K Beauty steps, I want to review what I was doing before and why I could not, I could never follow the 10-step beauty routine through Sephora products. I was essentially just doing cleanser, toner, sometimes an essence, and then a different day and night moisturizer. That was all I was doing, because that's all I could afford. And I remember at the time, especially with the moisturizers, I was really being very conservative, not using a lot, and just it was more like spot treating more than anything, unless my skin really needed it all around. With K beauty products, with how much more affordable they are, especially through Olive Young, with all of their promotions and sales, I don't have to worry about skimping on skincare. I could freely lather it all through all through my face, down to my neck, and to my decollete, which is what you should be doing, because skincare isn't just your face. It's also, especially with concerns of aging, it's also part of your neck, your decollete, and the rest of your body as well. What we'll be doing now is going through the 10 steps and sharing the products that I'm currently using that essentially fills in those steps. And I'll also be comparing it with products that I was using before using K Beauty products. Gobi, do you want your toy back? Okay, let me go get his toy first. The first step in the K Beauty skincare routine is a makeup removal and oil cleanser. Like I mentioned before, I don't really use makeup, but I do have an oil cleanser, Skin 1004's Madagascar Centella Light Cleansing Oil. It's okay. It is quite thick. I don't really feel it cleaning my skin or removing any makeup. I'm not a fan of cleansing oil. I know I have used cleansing oils before. The one I was using back when I was very dependent on Sephora was Josie Moran's. I like Josie Moran's oil cleanser a lot better than Skin 1004. I don't know. I don't think Sephora carries Josie Moran anymore. I haven't seen it in a while. Sephora is a very different place now. The last time I went, I didn't recognize more than half of the brands. And surprise, surprise, the price point seemed to have risen as well. So Doesn't look like I'll be going back to Sephora anytime soon. The next step is water-based cleanser. What I did like before was Drunk Elephant's Peaky Bar, and I forget what the other one's called. I don't even remember which one was the exfoliator. But step 2 and 3 in the 10 steps is a water-based cleanser, which would have been the white blueberry cleanser, and then the exfoliator would be the brown Peaky Bar. Those two products would fill in 2 and 3. But right now, the cleansers that I'm using, I alternate, and they're more exfoliating than cleansing. I use facial cleanser more in the evenings. In the mornings, I just wash my face with water. Call me controversial, call it gross. With how my skin feels in the morning, water is sufficient enough with cleansing. I mean, I plopped a whole gunk of skincare stuff overnight and I'm just in bed. There's not much to really clean off my face, and over cleaning can really irritate your skin. So I tend to not use a cleanser in the morning. And according to Dr. Driss, she's a certified dermatologist, a YouTuber, and I think she has a skincare line now that is ironically being sold in Sephora. I heard from her that it's actually better off to not wash your face with cleanser in the morning because you're just drying your skin out. But I digress. When I do use cleanser, it's usually alternating between these two: Numbuzin's Rice Enzyme Skin Softening Cleansing Foam. It does foam, but it's also a gommage, so it does exfoliate as well. So it does both of it. I enjoy it for that reason. If I don't really need a deep clean, foam cleansers really tend to dry out my face. I just stick with the Beauty of Joseon's Apricot Blossom Peeling Gel. It is largely exfoliating. And it's light. It's not an irritant. What I like about the brand Beauty of Joseon is I believe that the ingredients are all natural. Don't quote me on that. I've never actually read the full ingredient list for all of the products that I use from them. Based on how my skin feels after using them, they are non-irritant, they're very light, and my skin likes it. So that's why I use them. Next, Forest Toner. I have toner galore. And like I said, the one that I'm using now and is a everyday favorite for me, Round Labs 1025 Dokdo. This is the one that I got from Costco. Of course, Costco sells in bulk, so it was 2 bottles of this size and a smaller travel size. I believe this is enough to last maybe 4 to 6 months. What I like about 1025 is that it's essentially like water. It has the consistency of water, it feels like water, but it's not. You can feel a little bit of the thickness. What's the word? Viscosity? Thickness? I don't know. You could totally feel that there's something more than water in here. My skin does feel a little bit more hydrated, but it feels and acts a lot like water. When using this, I like to use it all over my face and on my neck and also on my collarbone area. Because, like I said earlier, it's not just your face that's dirty and needs cleansing or exfoliating, it's going to be this entire area here. And that's not something that I did before moving into K Beauty. I don't remember what toners I did use before. I was really I was really conservative with it. I very rarely even went past my jawbone, which is not great. You really should be utilizing your toners all over your neck up. Personally, that's how I feel. I forgot another toner. I know I was just praising Beauty of Joseon about how light their products are, but this toner here in particular is a little bit stronger. It is their Green Plum Refreshing Toner. It is labeled as a toner. I think it acts a little bit more as an exfoliant. It's somewhere in between because it has AHA and BHA. I do not recommend this for more sensitive skin. I remember the first time I used this, I could feel a little bit stinging on my face, and that's just because of the properties of AHA and BHA. It's written very clear in the back what the active ingredients are and why it's causing that stinging feeling. It has 25% prunus mum fruit water that's green plum, glycolic acid, which is AHA, 2%, and salicylic acid, which is BHA, that's 0.5%. That is the reason why it's a little bit stronger, a little bit stingy, and does a little bit more exfoliating, but it is labeled as a toner. Next is essence. I usually alternate between these two. The climate is just so drying, I actually mix these two together. I first put this. It's the Neogen Real Ferment Micro Essence. It's a micro essence for brighter, softer, and hydrated skin. I place this on top, make sure my face isn't fully dry. Then I use the ever so infamous Snail Mucin, 96 Snail Mucin Power Essence. I remember when I first used this product, not being a real fan, I did realize that the real proper way to use this is to make sure your face is not fully dry with whatever product you were using before, because putting it on bone dry skin, the consistency is very sticky and uncomfortable. It will just lay on top of your skin. In order for your skin to really absorb it, you need to have another product on top of it, or even just water. If you want to just put essence after washing your face, make sure your face isn't fully dry. This Neogen Ferment Micro Essence, I had gotten this because I was told that this was a dupe for SK2's Pitera Essence. That was the product that brought me to Rouge every year because it's a very expensive product, but it works very well. And unfortunately, I don't think that this works nearly as well. This bottle is approximately $30, so a little bit more on the expensive side with K-beauty products, but it's certainly a lot cheaper than the $99 bottle that I was ordering from Sephora every 3 months. Actually, that's the toner that I used before. I was using an SK2 lotion as a toner, which at the time was $76. Now I think it's about $80, so it's just getting more and more expensive. I don't think I'll be able to afford that lifestyle anytime soon. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I will be buying this again. I don't see it doing the same thing as SK2's Pitera Essence. And I think that's because this smells nothing like it. With SK2's Pitera products, whether it be the treatment lotion or the essences, you could smell sake because that was the main ingredients. That's what Pitera is. It's fermented sake. This has almost no smell to it. The texture is a lot lighter. It's a lot like water, whereas with Pitera, it's light like water, but it has texture that's a lot like a little bit more dense. It's light, but it has a density to it. You could physically feel it. That's the best way I could describe it. I don't think this is worth the dupe. Since this is about $30 a bottle, I don't think it's worth that personally. After essence is treatments. Treatments is usually, serums and ampules, things that treat targeted areas. My main skincare issue is going to be dryness. As I get older, dark spots and fine lines. And I like to use Beauty of Joseon's serums first. Like I said, I alternated between rice arbutin and the Propolis niacinamide. I would use one of those and then use Skin 1004's Centella Ampoule. This is the one that I was surviving with before my hole came in. This is the 30 milliliter travel size, nearly half the size of the bigger ones, and this would probably last maybe 2 more weeks. I'm glad that my haul came in so that I could have it as well. I already had run out of my serum, so my face is feeling a little dry. Number 7 on the list is sheet masks. I've always been a fan of sheet masks. I'm fairly new with K-beauty sheet masks. I've been largely dependent on J-beauty sheet masks. Some of my favorite J-beauty sheet mask brands are Lululund. That's the most popular one. I unfortunately can't remember the names. I do remember the packaging, just everything is in Japanese. And Japanese sheet masks are priced very well. They're fairly cheap, which is why they're not nearly expensive as SK2. I still really enjoy them, but I also enjoyed breaking into K-Beauty sheet masks, specifically using toner sheets as masks, and I have a large collection here. What I like about using K-Beauty toner sheets as a sheet mask is that you can customize it. Because they're so small, you could customize it in different areas for different focuses and be on your merry way. I obviously have a favorite. I have a stack of Medipeel toner sheet pads. I have the photo enzyme peeling pad, the Watermide moisture pads, and the Tea Tree trouble pad. Tea Tree is good for any irritation, for redness. Watermides for moisturizing. And I think the photo enzyme peeling pad is my least favorite. I don't really need it. It does have a very strong smell to it. I don't really use this nearly as often as the others. I've had this the longest. I've used the collagen peel pad. I've finished it fairly quickly. This one has been around for a while. I like this the least, mostly because of the smell. It's very strong. Whereas all of the other toner pads from MediHeal that I've used, which is pretty much almost all of them now, have a very tame and light scent, if any at all. What I like to use for my eyes are the snail hydrogel eye patches. What I'll do is I'll take whichever toner pad I need for different areas of my face. Let's say right now, if I were to create a custom mask for my face, I will take 2 of the moisture pad, put it on my forehead and on my chin, and then the tea tree pads I'll put on my cheeks, and then use the snail hydrogel ones just beneath my eyes. That is a winter favorite. That's an example of how I like to utilize these toner pads. Next is eye cream. I was never really a huge user of eye creams. I remember my skincare bestie telling me one time, eye cream is essentially moisturizer that's just watered down. And I believed her. I don't know if I believe that today, but I don't really have the need for eye creams. A lot of eye creams are very gimmicky. I don't know. I don't see them as being very useful, but I do have a K Beauty eye cream that I use every once in a while, and that is the Haru Haru Wonder Bakuchul ice cream. Bakuchul eye cream. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit older and starting to see some fine lines. Quite adverse to using retinol. I had learned about Bakuchiol as a good non-chemical alternative to retinol that's not nearly as damaging to the skin. And Haru Haru Wonder's black rice eye cream, their main active ingredient is bakuchiol. When I put this under my eyes, I'm taken back to what my friend said, like eye cream is just watered down moisturizer. And it feels like that. It feels like that. Does it work? Well, I don't really have that much fine eye lines. When I am especially tired and my eyes are especially sunken, I do use this. It's not that often, but I mean, I like it. I don't know if it's a placebo. I have it. I've bought it multiple times. I enjoy it. That's all I can say about it. Number 9 is moisturizer. In my former life, other than the most obviously expensive SK2 products that I was heavily dependent on, moisturizers were something that really brought me to the Sephora Rouge tier. I remember them being usually around 30 milliliters, costing $30-$40 each. And I had 2 moisturizers, one for the morning and one for the evening, because the morning should be a little bit lighter and the evening one should be a little bit thicker. And I remember when using the products being extra conservative because it was so expensive and because I was buying it so often. I was thoroughly surprised and very happy to see that K Beauty and J Beauty moisturizers came in bigger sizes and were a lot cheaper and actually were a lot more effective and better for my skin overall. I remember even for the day creams in Sephora, they were pretty heavy on the skin, and actually, I think it contributed to my skin's oiliness. I have combination skin, but before, when I was heavily dependent on Sephora, it was leaning more towards the oily side. Now, my oil production is fairly controlled, and I think it's because of the switch to lighter moisturizers. In K Beauty and J Beauty, they don't call their moisturizers the same. They do have moisturizers, but the ones that my skin really love are lotion and milk. I don't entirely know the difference between milk and lotion for Japanese products, but I know with the milk versions, they're a little bit lighter in texture and a little bit more absorbent on the skin based on my personal use. So dependent on the weather or how my skin's feeling, I like to use the Hadalabo premium milk, the yellow premium milk that I had just shown in the unboxing. Oh, Gobi, are you looking at your toy? So I would alternate between the Hadalabo premium milk and this. The Simple Daily Lotion by Cynic. Cynic is not as popular a K-beauty brand. It's a pretty great face moisturizer. It says here it's a weekly acidic mild care. It's kept at a pH of 5.5. Again, I am not a dermatologist or an esthetician. I don't know what that technically means or what it does to the face, but after using it, I do know that my face likes it. When my face feels okay and it doesn't need any more extra moisture, I will use Cynic's daily lotion. I will also use this when I feel like my skin's feeling more on the oily side. I will use this one. I like to use the Hadalabo when my skin is especially dry. What I like about this premium milk is that it feels great. It still feels light, but I don't know what's in it, but it really makes you glowy. It feels amazing. I don't know how to explain it. I know I'm not the best at describing how it feels, but I like to alternate between these two over time. And in terms of size compared to the moisturizers that I've used in Sephora, like I said, they were typically 30 milliliters. This bottle from Hadalabo is 140 milliliters. That is a little over than 4 times the amount you would typically get for a $40 jar at Sephora. This is based on memory. I don't know what their prices are now or the sizes of their products are anymore because I rarely go there, but this is a lot bigger and a lot cheaper than what I was getting when I was very dependent on Sephora. I think when it comes to skincare fads and skincare news or whatever, of course, first and foremost, if you do have a huge problem, always connect with a professional, connect with a certified dermatologist to analyze what's wrong with your skin and have it fixed properly. You know, my love and attention to skincare, I think, is, I don't want to say hereditary. It is one of the few things that I saw and really admired from my own mother and grandmother. They really cared for their skin and their appearance, and that is something that really stuck with me because with how they looked, you could never really tell how hard they worked. It was kind of like a superhero mask, and so that's why I invest and care so much about skincare and my appearance. It's not so much a self-esteem issue, it's just more something that I enjoy and that I take pride in. It is something that I have been influenced by my mother and my grandmother, and just seeing how strong and beautiful they look even after going through much. I see a value in that. And so that's why it's really important for me to find products that have a fair price point but also gets the job done. And that is something that K beauty items have done for me. But yeah, that is my skincare video. Like I said, apologies if it's a little bit over the place. That is the video. Can't wait to hear some of your feedback. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I have a feeling it's quite a chunker. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you have, I really appreciate that. And I and Gobi here, who's now sleeping, hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye.